Pull out your grocery receipt from this week. Go ahead, I'll wait, because I want to show you something. The most expensive food on that receipt is not the meat and it's not the produce. It's the cheap stuff you grabbed because you told yourself you couldn't afford to eat any better. And today, I'm going to prove that to you. Welcome to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast, brought to you by Thinlicious. I'm your host, Lisa Joy Thompson, and every week we bring you the science, the stories, and the straight talk you need to feel better and live free. From real food to hormone health to breaking free from yo-yo dieting for good. This is the show for every woman who's ready to stop surviving and start thriving. Settle in, friend. What you're about to hear might just change everything. Hey, friend. I am so glad you're here today, and I want you to know right up front, this episode exists because you asked for it. A little while back, I sent out a survey to our TAS community members and asked what you wanted me to talk about. And so many of you, more than I expected, wrote back with the same version of the very same thing. How do I do this when money is tight? How do I eat well without spending a fortune? So today's episode is my answer to you. You asked and I listened, because when this many of you raise your hand about the same thing, I know it matters. And this one is actually close to my heart for a couple of reasons. The first is that I have fed a big family for a long time, so I know exactly what it feels like to stretch a grocery budget until it begs for mercy. And the second is something you might not know about me. Back in 2009, I started a blog called Simplified Saving, all about frugal living. I spent years teaching women how to coupon, how to stretch $1, and how to feed their families on next to nothing. I eventually rebranded that blog into Fun Happy Home, the site I still run today. So when we sit down to talk about money on this episode, I want you to know this is not some health guru who's never once looked at a price tag. Saving money is where I started. It is in my bones. And I'm telling you, you can do this even when things are tight. So today we're talking about something I know is weighing on a lot of you right now, because it's weighing on just about everybody. Money. The cost of everything has gone up. Groceries maybe most of all. And when things are tight, the idea of eating well can start to feel like one more thing you just can't afford. But I promise you, you can. And I'm going to show you exactly how. So let me start by saying I get it, because I've lived it. When you're a mom feeding a house full of people and money is tight and you're already exhausted at the end of a long day, the last thing you want to hear is that you also need to go buy the grass-fed, the organic, the fancy everything. It feels impossible. It feels like health is this luxury reserved for the people who have money to burn and hours to spend, and you have neither. And I want to name that feeling because I think a lot of you are carrying it right now. The quiet sense that getting healthy is just not realistic for someone in your situation. That it's a nice idea for other people, but not for you and not right now. I felt that too for years. So if that's where you are today, I'm not here to make you feel bad about it. I'm here to tell you it's not true and to show you why. Because here's something I've learned after all these years of feeding lots of people. The pressure you feel isn't really about the groceries. It's about the fear that you have to choose, that it's either one or the other. Take care of your family or take care of yourself. Protect the budget or protect your health. And I'm here to tell you that's a false choice. You don't have to pick. The very same real food that helps your body is the food that you could put in front of your whole family on a normal budget without turning into a short order cook making 3 different meals every single night. I remember standing in the grocery store back in the day, cart half full, doing math in my head. And not the fun kind of math. The kind where you're adding up every single item as you go and praying the total lands somewhere under the number that's actually in your checking account. I remember putting things back on the shelf so we could make it work. And I remember that knot in my stomach at the checkout, watching the total climb, just hoping the card would go through. If you've ever done that, if you've ever quietly set something back on the shelf so the number would work, I see you. I've been you. And I'm not going to stand up here and pretend that I haven't. So let's bust this myth wide open, because there are 3 things going on here that nobody ever tells you. The first is where this whole idea that healthy food is expensive even comes from. And the answer is marketing. When you picture eating healthy, what comes to mind? The organic everything, the cabinet full of supplements, the meal kit boxes on the porch, the $14 green smoothie with a name you can't even pronounce. That's what the wellness industry has sold us as healthy. But friend, that's not real food. That's a lifestyle brand. And you don't need one single piece of it. The price tag on all of that has almost nothing to do with actually nourishing your body. The second thing is the real cost of the cheap, processed food we reach for instead. And this is the part that actually got me. That food is engineered. It's designed in a lab to be cheap to make and nearly impossible to stop eating. It's built to leave you unsatisfied so that you keep going back for more. So you're never quite full, you're always snacking, always reaching for the next thing, and that adds up. You're not buying one bag of chips a month, you're buying it again and again and again. Cheap food has a funny way of not staying cheap once you add up how much of it you actually go through. And that is just the money. The bigger cost is the one that never shows up on your receipt at all. It's your energy. It's how you feel every single afternoon. It's the fog and the crash and the aches. It's what that food is quietly doing to your health and to the bills you'll pay for that health down the road. When you look at it that way, that cheap food was never actually cheap. It was the most expensive food in the whole store. The third thing, and this is the one I really want you to hold on to, is real food is not fancy food. Somewhere along the way, we got convinced that eating well means expensive and complicated and gourmet, but it doesn't. Some of the cheapest food in the entire grocery store is exactly what your body needs the most. Eggs, ground beef, chicken thighs, a bag of frozen vegetables. That's real food, and that's what heals your body. And it costs a fraction of the processed stuff and the fancy health branded stuff put. So let's get really practical, because I never want to leave you with a nice idea and no plan for what to do with it. So here's exactly how to do this. Grab a pen or save this episode, because these are the things that actually work. Number 1, build your meals around cheap protein. Protein is the thing that keeps you full and keeps your body working the way it's supposed to. And here's the good news. Some of the very best protein is some of the cheapest food there is. Eggs are one of the most affordable and most nourishing foods on the planet. Ground beef and ground turkey also stretch across so many meals. Chicken thighs are cheaper than chicken breasts, and honestly, they taste so much better. Even a can of tuna is really good protein, and it costs next to nothing. Anchor your meals around those, and you're already winning. Number 2. Now, I know some of you are going to balk at this, but buy your vegetables frozen. I know there's this idea floating around that fresh is always better, but frozen vegetables are picked and frozen at their peak, so they're just as good for you. They cost less, and here's the part I love the most. Nothing rots in the back of your drawer. How many times have you spent good money on fresh produce with the very best of intentions, only to throw half of it away a week later? Frozen means no waste, and no waste means real savings. Number 3, cook once and eat twice. When you do cook, make extra. Double the batch, because the real budget buster isn't your groceries. It's the drive-through you hit on the nights you're just too tired to cook. When there's already food in the fridge, ready to go, you're not tempted to spend $20 or $30 feeding everybody fast food that you're not even going to feel good about afterwards. A little bit of planning on a good day saves you on the hard days. Number 4, skip the health branded products. Anytime you see a package shouting about how healthy or keto or low carb or clean it is, know that you are usually paying extra for that label. The word healthy on a box is a tax. You don't need special crackers or the protein cookies or the supplement powder of the month. Whole, simple foods don't need a marketing budget, and they're not going to charge you for one. Number 5, buy your protein on sale and freeze it. When you see a good price on ground beef or chicken, buy extra and put it in the freezer. Then build your meals that week around whatever was on sale. You don't have to plan around the perfect recipe. Plan around what is cheap and good this week and let your freezer do the rest. And here is the one that ties it all together. Stop paying for the stuff that is keeping you stuck. The snacks, the sodas, the drive-through. All those little daily habits you don't even think about anymore, add those up over a month. It is real money. And when you stop spending money on the food that leaves you tired and hungry, you free up more than enough to buy the real food that actually helps you feel good. You're not adding a new cost here. You're just moving your money off the food that's hurting you and onto the food that's healing you. So, let me make this even more real for you. Let me walk you through what a whole day of eating this way can actually look like without spending much of anything at all. Breakfast is eggs. You can scramble them, fry them, or hard-boil a big batch on Sunday so they're ready to grab all week. Eggs cost pennies compared to a drive-through breakfast sandwich, and they'll keep you full for hours instead of leaving you starving again by 10 in the morning. Lunch is leftovers from the night before. This is exactly why we cook once and eat twice, or 3 or 4 times. Last night's dinner can become today's lunch, and you didn't spend one extra dime or one extra minute to make it happen. And dinner's where you build around that cheap protein. A pound of ground beef, browned up with a bag of frozen veggies and some seasoning, will feed a whole family for just a few dollars. Chicken thighs baked in the oven or in the air fryer with whatever veggies on hand is amazing. It's simple, it's filling, it's real. Now, notice what's not on that list. There's not a $14 smoothie, there's no meal kit, there's no special health food from the fancy aisle. It's just real, simple food that anybody can afford. And one more thing, because I know some of you are feeding people who are not exactly on board yet. Here's the good news. You don't have to cook a whole separate meal just for you while everybody else eats something different. That's expensive and it's exhausting, and it's a big reason so many of us give up. Build the meal around the same real food for everyone. That ground beef and those vegetables, that baked chicken, and for the family members who aren't quite ready to eat that way yet, you can add a simple, cheap side just for them. I do this all the time with burrito bowls. When I make them, I'll cook up a pot of regular rice for the family, and I'll make some cauliflower rice for me. Same bowl, same toppings, same meat. We all build our own, and everybody's happy. Nobody feels like they're stuck eating diet food, and I'm still eating in a way that works for my body. That's the whole trick. One meal, a couple of easy swaps, and you've fed everyone without cooking 2 dinners or spending twice the money. When I make my chicken enchilada soup, it's totally TAS friendly. However, I also grab some tortilla chips for my kids and my husband, and they dip their chips in the soup. It's a win-win. It's actually one of their favorite meals and one they ask for all the time, and it works for both of us. So when you do it this way, you're still saving money, you're still saving your sanity, and everybody is happy. And little by little, you're also showing the people you love what normal, healthy eating actually looks like. And that might just be the most valuable thing on this whole list. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Eating well is not a luxury. It's not something you only get to do after you have money and time to spare. Some of the most healing food on earth is sitting right there in the cheapest corners of your grocery store waiting for you. You can do this even when money is tight. And honestly, when money is tight is exactly when your energy and your health matters the most, because you can't afford to be running on empty. I am not special. If I can feed a big family real food through the tight seasons, then so can you. This is doable. I promise you it is. Before you go, if this episode helped you today, or if it took some of the weight off your shoulders about how in the world you're going to do this, would you do me a quick favor? Hit subscribe or follow wherever you're listening right now so you never miss an episode. And if you have a second, leave us a rating and review. It genuinely takes about 30 seconds, and it's the single biggest thing you can do to help another woman who is exhausted and stuck and searching for a little hope to find this show. When you leave a review, you're basically reaching back and pulling the next woman forward. So thank you. It means more than you know. And if today lit something in you, if you're ready to stop guessing and actually learn how to eat in a way that heals your body without spending a fortune, that's exactly what the Thin Adapted System is built to walk you through, step by step. You can go check it out anytime at getthinlicious.com/thinadaptedsystem. I'll leave the link in the show notes. Thanks for being here with me today. Take good care of yourselves, feed yourself well, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep going, friend, and remember, you are made to feel better and live free.